Tonight, clarity on the dredging in the Placencia Lagoon. We'll talk to the village chairman and the chief environmental officer. And six-figure embezzlement uncovered at the immigration department. Public officers may have siphoned off as much as 150 grand. Plus, Joseph Budna speaks from behind bars in Guatemala. He tells us why Monday's decision from the High Court has given him some hope. Also looking for the perfect pitch in a pan, we'll show you how they're making steel drums in Belmopan. We've got details of these and all the stories in our newscast for tonight, Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Inder Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
At Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing informs the general public that works from Belize City to Hattieville under the George Price Highway Upgrading Project are actively progressing. The public is advised that business signs and roadside memorials located within the road reserve, including crosses and other commemorative markers, will need to be removed. We recognize the personal significance of these memorials and are committed to handling this process with the utmost respect and sensitivity. Removals must be completed by June 12, 2026 in preparation for construction works. Following the completion of the project, interested parties must reapply to the MIDH for the reinstallation of private signs within the road reserve. The Ministry sincerely appreciates the understanding and cooperation of the public as we work to improve the safety and quality of our highways. For further information on the project, please contact the Project Execution Unit at 614-3195 or 828-6007.
Our story was built by people, neighbors helping neighbors, standing side by side with those who trust us to protect what matters most and help build our communities. Being there when needed most. Across borders, across generations. Still growing, still giving, still just getting started after 185 years.
Sir, why is it that our Belizean dollar doesn't go up and down like that, sir?
Because Belize chose stability by fixing its exchange rate to support how our economy works. And that choice didn't happen by accident. But to understand it, we have to go back to the beginning. So in 1894, Belize introduced its first official dollar and fixed its exchange rate 1-to-1 with the US dollar. We traded with America in both directions, exporting timber, chicle, and importing most of what we needed from the United States. A fixed exchange rate helped to keep price changes more predictable for both sides of the trade.
But how did Belize make sure the rate stayed fixed?
So that same year, a currency board was created to issue local money and protect the fixed exchange rate. Every dollar issued was fully supported by foreign currency. Stability wasn't optional or by chance. The institutions to protect the value were built into the system. For decades, we stayed tied to the US dollar because of our trade. But in 1939, World War II changed the rules. Britain required its colonies to hold their foreign reserves in British pounds. Belize still maintained its one-to-one US link for trade, but with reserves now in sterling, the system was exposed to changes in Britain's currency. That vulnerability showed itself in 1949 when Britain devalued the pound. Because our reserves were held in British pounds, that devaluation passed directly into our currency, meaning more local dollars were needed to buy one US dollar.
So that's when Belize decided to act?
Yes, Belize made a deliberate choice on May 11, 1976, to anchor our dollar again to the US in a way that matched our trade and financial reality. Our monetary authority, now the Central Bank of Belize, took responsibility for maintaining that stability through disciplined oversight backed by strong US dollar reserves.
So our Belize dollar has stayed at 2 Belize to 1 US for 50 years?
Yes, and for a small country like Belize, that kind of stability makes everyday decisions easier for businesses and for families.
So it's not just about the money in my hand, it's about knowing that my credit union money or my savings at the bank will keep its value no matter what happens out there.
Exactly. The peg protects us, so Belize can plan, trade, and save with confidence, even when the rest of the world is shifting.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
In Belize, change is taking shape every day. It all starts with game changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game changers are bringing this to life. Game changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the game changers.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Last night we told you about the alarm raised over dredging in Placencia Lagoon. Well, tonight a verbal stop order has been issued to Seaboard Holdings Limited, the company responsible for the dredging, as the Department of Environment continues its investigation. Yesterday we told you about the concerns residents had that they were unaware of who was digging in their lagoon and whether it was authorized. Well, since then, a March 16th letter of authorization has emerged where Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai tells Company Director Marcus Spat that Seaboard Holdings had the environmental clearance to extract 4,500 cubic yards of sand silt. This extracted material was to be used to reclaim parts of the beach that had eroded on specific parcels. But while the project had clearance, the contractor Albert Lowen violated both the time and distance limitations stipulated in the permit. But apart from that, according to the chairman of Placencia, the bigger issue is that these permits are being issued and the residents of these communities are left in the dark. He explained more via telephone this afternoon after he visited the site.
I believe a verbal stop order was given to the contractor that was doing the work. Um, this morning, I was out there personally, along with leader from the CMBite community, the chairman, as well as other concerned residents, and they a personnel from the development group or the developer came out as well, or sorry, the contractor who was contracted to do the work came out, and we had discussions with him, and they admitted that they did not go according to the specifications of the permit that was given. So um, it's there was violations at every angle, which is common with most developments all over, and that kind of work. There's little to no monitoring from the relevant agencies, and it was the same here. So that is really what riled up residents, and as community leaders, we have to be out there in support of our constituents.
So what happens next? Because on one hand, the project does have a permit, just that they were violating the conditions, but on the other hand, there's still work being done in this lagoon.
That's correct, and it is our intention to really reach out to the appropriate authorities, because there's multiple agencies that issues permits and grant these concessions and um, approve these works. So it is our intention to reach out to our area rep and all the relevant agencies to chart a different way. The communities have to be completely involved um, in knowing what's going on. It can't be where developers go to Belmopan and fill an application um, and get these works done without the communities knowing.
Our archives show that contractor Albert Lowen has been named before for violating permits. Chairman Garbutt explained that it's unfortunate that it's Belizeans who are damaging the peninsula's fragile ecosystem.
It's a very small community, and we work with all different sectors, the developers, the real estate agents, everybody. However, we have to really let them know, and everybody has to be on the same page when it comes to the sustainability of our existence. Um, there's very few developers on the peninsula, so if we can, it's not anything personal, um, but we have to work with the authorities, like I said, to be a part of it. There are ways in which these things can be done in a sustainable manner. Like you rightly mentioned, um, just a few days ago, we were out at Funk Key, which is very close to the main barrier reef, and some dredging was being done with the same method, using big excavators, just clearing way for a channel to fill an island. It's not sustainable. I mean, these are areas where local fishermen use on a daily basis to catch their bait, and for fly fishers to fish for targeted species like bonefish and permit. And when the ecosystem is disturbed in that type of way, and especially by the same operator, it really cause us to ask question, and really brings a lot of concern. It's such a small community that we feel the impacts right away when that type of action is done, and people are doing it without any regard. And my big disappointment is that a lot of the players in this one are Belizeans. I mean, a lot of time it's foreign developers who just develop their property, no regard for the environment, and and then just leaving, selling the properties after a few years. These are Belizeans who, you know, probably not from the area, but have no regard either. I mean, it's really frustrating.
We reached out to Lowen, who explained that he was out of the country. He also said, quote, "A lot of people always focus on the negative. Without us wanting it, we have found fill that no one knew was there. It could be used to solve a large part of the beach problem Placencia has. It is the same sand that you would find on the beachside. In my opinion, there is no long-term harm in dredging in the lagoon. All the wildlife loves the deeper water. The fill is there, and we need to save our beaches." End quote. And the Chief Environmental Officer also confirmed that they have had run-ins with Lowen before. However, any further action would require legal consultation on their part. But he added that they have done their investigation as it regards to this Placencia Lagoon development. He explained their findings via Zoom.
I could also confirm that going through the investigation, we found that the development also has environmental clearance, so the dredging of 4,500 cubic yards of material from that particular area for the said company. Yeah. So they have, in terms of the file that I went through and the report that I received from my staff, it seems that the proprietor had all the requisite documentation, all due diligences were done before clearance was granted and the mining permit was granted.
To know what went wrong.
Yeah, so the investigation revealed that the contractor apparently, with the desire to obtain this 4,500 cubic yards of material, decided to extract it in an unconventional way, if I could use those words. So really and truly, what the contractor should have done was get a barge, put an excavator on the barge, and then dredge the material, and then take it out to land, put it in a dewatering site, allow it to dry for a period of time before it is used to fill the seaside component of this development and also a portion of the property. What the developer did, he explained, was that because the sand was not readily available in the nearshore area, the method of extracting the 4,500 cubic yards of material involved the removal of the material. So it began to pile up the material going into the lagoon. And the intention was always, according to him, was for the structure that was being built to be removed, because the structure that was being built was the same sand that he would have removed to obtain the 4,500 cubic yards of material. And so that's what we understand is the reason as to why the structure was being built. But for us, one of the concerns is the fact that like silt curtains, sedimentation, containment structures were not in place during that operation.
What happens now? Do you, first of all, deem that what was done then was illegal?
So we're still making a determination. I could tell you that the fact that silt curtains were not used violates the conditions of the environmental clearance letter. And so the extraction method, the way how the material was removed, is something that we're still discussing with the mining unit to see how we deal with that particular issue.
There's a case of suspected embezzlement at the Immigration Department Belize City office, and sources tell us that at least one immigration officer is under suspicion for the possible theft of tens of thousands of dollars. How much? Well, possibly more than $150,000 in a daring scheme involving receipt reversals. How did it work? Well, simple. A citizen or visitor goes to the immigration office to pay $500 cash for a service. The officer accepts the cash, enters the transaction into the system, and prints a legitimate receipt for the customer. After the customer leaves with their receipt, the officer goes back into the system and cancels that specific transaction. As a result, the system records that the $500 was never actually collected, and the officer can, well, simply pocket the cash. A statement today from the Ministry of Immigration more or less confirms missing monies. It says the ministry has launched internal reviews into reports of possible embezzlement at the Belize City Immigration Office. Reports tell us that an initial assessment shows over 800 reverse receipts netted the beneficiaries working inside the office's a six-figure haul. So far, $150,000 is the figure that's been arrived up in a preliminary review that only goes back to February of 2025. Sources tell us that to properly assess the scope of the scheme, the ministry may have to commission an official audit. In a statement today, the ministry also reported that 2 nationality certificates are missing from the Belmopan office and says a formal police report will be made this week, although it is still unclear whether the documents were misprinted, lost, or stolen. We now take a break. When we come back after a High Court decision on Monday, Joseph Budna says he is hopeful, but he still wants his abductors behind bars. And HPV vaccine feud. Cancer Society brings receipts proving Catholic Church previously greenlit school rollout. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
I had to walk here from Machakila to Dolores to catch my bus. I had to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning for me to go and catch bus Dolores at 6 o'clock.
That's the hardship. They had to walk an hour and a half every day. Before that culvert bridge like that they made, it was just a very low homemade or man-made bridge. And when it's during the rainy season, it floods. These children would have to swim across, so they would have to carry like maybe 2 or 3 pair of clothes. Then they have to quickly shift and then walk again. Remember, it's walking from here all the way to the first village leaving Machakila.
Children walk through mud and rain, flood, and through that dense jungle, which is risky, especially at night. parents are now confident in their child's safety and education.
As a shop owner, we don't have to go in town. We just sometimes go call, and they could send it on the bus, and or sometimes like the delivery trucks and come here. So it is much easier, and it's very reliable. And
Machakila have experienced major improvements through the support of our government and brothers and sisters near and beyond as well.
It's easy for me to leave from here, going out. It's only about an hour and a half drive on motorcycle.
Right now we have an easy access to each communities.
I could say that it changes a lot in the community because I could say my village is uplifting.
It's better.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you've never been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more if you eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, the blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Hi, I'm Ava.
And I'm Aiden. We're your AI guides to all things NHI.
In this video, we will guide you on how to become an NHI member. You, and if you have a child, must have a Social Security card. To get an SSB card is easy. Visit socialsecurity.org.bz/card-replacement to view the required documents that are needed.
There is a fee of only $5 Belize for a first-time issue and $26 Belize for a replacement card. Newborns can use their mother's SSB card for up to 2 months.
With your SSB card, you and all family members can register at any NHI contracted clinic of your choice.
You and members of your family can now access health care when needed.
Please note that once you are registered with a clinic, you must go to that same clinic when you need medical care. Look out for more NHI guides like this.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's
all about taking nature's beauty and creating something uniquely beautiful. I've had inspiration from the Belize Blue Bull, the beaches, the Jaguar. I've launched a new product called Co-Design with Deb, and Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has opened the door to my international customers so I can receive payments so they can have their custom pieces shipped to them.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The UDP, they know a heavy mess, says Patrick Faber. And we say the mess is only getting worse. The elephant in the room, he say, that greed or selfishness. We say yes, because the UDP leader is always driven by self-interest and never by what's best for the country and the people. Shine Barrow said Tracy, no they cut it as the leader and have no plan for govern if she ever become Prime Minister.
For the sake of to be Prime Minister, for us to be in a cabinet for the sake of being in a cabinet.
Even Alberto Agas posted Tracy Panton conspired, connived, and contrived to lead the UDP. Panton was eventually endorsed as the party leader, and the party has since been steadily going downhill. Patrick, Shine, and Alberto are all UDP, and they're all correct about Tracy. Bang, bigging them both. All the Queen's horses and all the Queen's men can never put Humpty together again.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
On Monday, we told you about the fatal stabbing of 56-year-old Mark Longsworth at the corner of Ebony and Mopan Streets. Police were reviewing video footage from the area, which led them to detain one person for questioning. That person has since been charged. He is 53-year-old Ralph Miniman Martinez, a well-known resident of Lakeview Street. Martinez was escorted to the Belize City Magistrates Court this morning, where he was read a single charge of murder. He appeared unrepresented and no plea was taken due to the seriousness of the offense. He was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until his next court date, set for July 10th, 2026. Miniman Martinez has been in the news many times in the past 15 years for alleged involvement in crime. He may be languishing in a Guatemalan prison, but Joseph Budna got a glimmer of hope on Monday when Justice Martha Alexander gave a strong decision supporting his claim for violation of his constitutional rights. She rejected a strikeout motion brought by the Attorney General's office and said, in essence, that his constitutional claim against the government raises strong points and must be heard. She said, quote, "The dispute is a live one that remains to be answered by the state," and urged, quote, "This matter can benefit from full ventilation at trial." Today we got a chance to speak to Budna from his prison in Guatemala City, where he expressed satisfaction with the judgment, but says he still wants the persons responsible behind bars.
It brings a peace of mind when we hear the Lord Judge rule in this manner. It brings a peace of mind, but however, it is not. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It keeps bothering me in terms of the law enforcement officials in Belize, such as the Prime Minister, the Minister of Police, the Mr. Oscar Mira, the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Bennett, and all these high-ranking government officials who are supposed to be pushing to solve for kidnapping of a Belizean citizen. Nonetheless, it brings a peace of mind that I know that a judge sitting down is ruling in this, at least acknowledged. I want to believe that something had occurred here, and not something, a lot of things had occurred. I took hours of brutal beating, gun butt. I can't walk good right now, Jules. My hips are hurting. You know, these people cannot see what had happened to me. They don't see the video footage. I don't know why the government does not accept their responsibility and bring this to end and get me back to Belize. You know, I hadn't killed anybody in Belize. I hadn't committed a crime that the Prime Minister say I'm a pedophile and I have done this and I was molesting young boy. If you had evidence of that, then you should arrest and charge and take me before the court. But because you know that the main factor of my kidnapping and disappearance from Belize is because I was exposing the corruption within the government of Belize.
The judge said the claim raises a serious and live issue of constitutional breaches by state actors. In the present context, she says, I harbor no doubt that this is an appropriate case to move forward and that Mr. Budna ought not to be deprived preemptively of his right to a trial. There are reasonable grounds for bringing the claim and asking the Attorney General to defend it. What is the outcome that you want from this?
The outcome that I am looking at is those players who are responsible of my kidnapping to face the justice system and to be sent to prison for what they have done to me. So far, we have seen that justice is heading in the correct direction, and I applaud and pray to the good Lord that our justice system does not condone wrongdoing and continue to do the right thing. So that is something that have me at ease.
Legal observers tell us that based on the strong language in the decision, government would be wise to seek a settlement with Budna. We asked the Attorney General about it today, and he told us, quote, we are still in the early stages of the case. The government has been given until 9th June to file its defense. The Belize Cancer Society has come out expressing its grave concern at the recent statement made by the Roman Catholic Diocese regarding the HPV vaccine. The Cancer Society said that this statement contradicts the position outlined in 2016. The press release explained that in 2016, while the Society and MOH engaged in nationwide consultations and education discussions with leaders of the Catholic Church and schools regarding the HPV vaccine, the Roman Catholic Chancery issued a letter signed by Bishop Doric Wright and Auxiliary Bishop Christopher Glancy, recognizing the vaccine as an important tool in protecting young women from HPV-related cervical cancer. The letter also stated that the Catholic Church and Catholic Public Schools management had agreed to collaborate with the Ministry of Health and the Belize Cancer Society in facilitating access to the vaccine within Catholic public schools. The letter also emphasized parental education, informed consent, and respect for the right of parents to choose whether or not their child would receive the vaccine. The Belize Cancer Society says while it respects the significant role the Church plays in Belizean society, children should not be denied their rights to access public health programs that can prevent cervical cancer. The HPV vaccine has been widely used internationally and has been proven as a method of preventing cervical cancer. As we have been reporting, the dispute over Maya customary land rights continues with no end in sight. The Maya Leaders Alliance and Toledo Alcaldes Association have reached another stalemate and now have to return to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They're alleging that the government of Belize has again delayed implementing the 2015 consent order. Today we spoke extensively with the area rep for Toledo East, who outlined government's perspective.
They do have the right to submit a new request to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Secondly, I respectfully disagree that we are too far apart. I believe that under the leadership of PM Briceño, even Ministry of Indigenous Affairs was put in place so that we can have respectful discussions. But indeed, there are a lot of questions, and the questions are based on the basic and most fundamental pillar that we must have for everyone, and that is the right to humanity. And so we do support and we do understand that as a government we must comply with the Caribbean Court of Justice decision, but at the same time there is a right that we must respect on the third parties that are within the area that has been identified and which is the case that was taken to the Caribbean Court of Justice. And so the government of Belize have initiated what I would say a very innovative approach to put two representatives from the government to discuss the way forward on the draft legislation and the implementation so that both the government and the leaders of the MLA can come together and together we can implement the legislation. We had our first meeting, which was to look at the terms of reference. And I believe that meeting was very productive because in every negotiations you can put proposals forward. But proposals does not mean that it's a final decision. And so there is a proposal, but that's not a final decision. That was our first meeting of many. There's a roadmap of how many meetings we should have within a 2-month period, of which we have only had our first one. So to say that on our first meeting we are far apart, based on my experience in negotiations, I will respectfully disagree because I believe that at the contrary, there is a way forward that we have agreed to a roadmap on how we will be discussing the way forward, the next steps and the other meetings. So I won't say that we are moving in the same direction, but at the same time, I will disagree that we are far apart. But I want to categorically say that we all have to fight for one common goal, and that one common goal is for the benefit of the people who will be the beneficiaries while protecting the right of the third parties.
And in one instance, a banana farm is in the middle of the land that was set aside as communal land. In this instance, the minister says that they are looking at this case to see how they can compensate the Mayas.
We have a banana farm. We have a banana farm and some investors, within the land that is that falls within the MLA. I mean, how do you deal with that? I mean, the owner of the banana farm may or may not have a loan with a bank, may or may not have other investors in between. It has been creating so many jobs, contributes to Belize's economy. Therefore, when you see these kinds of investments, how do you treat them? There has to be a right that needs to protect them. And Belize's Constitution and the Caribbean Court of Justice will respect the right of everyone. And so it's just a matter of how can both parties compromise, in this case MLA, TA, and the government of Belize, whereby everyone can be satisfied without infringing their rights.
What they've said is, in previous instances, and they used the Primrose Gabriel, I think, case, the government has compensated a party when there are competing titles. Why should it not be the same for the Maya?
So the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling came in 2015. And I believe that if that is an argument and a case that can be proved that after 2015 any title was issued to a third party, then they do have the right to say, you know what, the government do have the responsibility to compensate wherever there is duplications of title. But then we have another scenario. What about the scenario where someone got a title from 1980-something? And then the ruling came in 2015.
But does that erase that those lands would have been Maya lands? It doesn't.
No, but there was a ruling in 2015. Before that, the government had the freedom because land falls within the Ministry of Natural Resources. And I am not against here, nor in favor. I am just objectively looking at it. If there was no ruling, then the government had that privilege to say at the moment, well, we can give the titles, and it's a legal title that has been given to X person or a population of people, whether it was villages or not.
Last night, we reported that Minister of State Marconi Leal Jr. would be temporary Minister of Foreign Trade, while Senior Minister Francis Fonseca is recovering from open-heart surgery. Today, we asked Dr. Osmond Martinez, who was the former Minister of State for Foreign Trade, why he was not the automatic pick for this portfolio given his past experience. He said he doesn't think a temporary minister is needed.
Would you be able to tell us why you were not made the temporary Minister of Foreign Trade since you have experience in that area?
That's a question to Prime Minister, but I don't think a temporary minister is needed. I know the Prime Minister is looking into it. He's the one who's holding that position, and I believe it's only right. I mean, I don't think anyone can replace Minister Fonseca, no? And I want to take this opportunity to wish him well and a fast recovery. We've been praying to him. He's, in addition to a colleague, he's a good friend and a mentor that I have.
Today, the Ministry of E-Governance held a conference under the theme Cybersecurity in the Age of AI, building Belize's capacity to prevent, protect, and recover from cybersecurity threats with conventional and AI-enhanced tools. It brought together local officials and international partners, namely Taiwan and the U.S., to address growing concerns around data protection. Jaleesa Roberts found that there was also the subtext of a concern about mainland China dabbling in Belize's information infrastructure.
Belize is stepping up efforts to strengthen its cyber defenses as the Ministry of E-Governance hosts a national conference focused on cybersecurity in the age of artificial intelligence. CEO Jose Urbina said that the event forms part of the government's wider public stakeholder engagement on digital transformation.
We're having a cybersecurity conference. It's a topic of great importance for us here in Belize. And as you all know, we've been doing public stakeholder engagements. And one of the biggest questions we often get is how do we protect citizen data? Hence the reason this is one of the initiatives we're doing in country. Of course, with the Ministry of E-Governance under the Prime Minister leading the initiative here, with great partners, of course. Our partners is the U.S. government and also Taiwan, ICDF fund, to ensure that we have the international touch as it relates to cybersecurity and also to boost capacity in country.
Urbina explained that Belize currently manages significant amount of citizen information and that safeguarding that data is critical to building public confidence in digital government services.
We do realize that we host a lot of citizen data, but we also need to be cognizant that we need to take the necessary steps to protect that data. And of course, protecting the data also means that we build trust with the citizenry, and there is a further uptake of digital services in country.
Taiwan's ambassador to Belize, Amino Chi, highlighted the long-standing partnership with Belize in digital development.
In recent years, Taiwan has been honored to support Belize digital development initiatives through technical cooperation, knowledge exchange, and institutional partnerships. We are encouraged by Belize's commitment to advancing e-governance and digital public service to better serve its people. Taiwan believes the digital transformation can enhance transparency, efficiency, inclusiveness, and economic opportunity. All at the same time, however, digital advancement must be accompanied by the strong cybersecurity protection.
And while Taiwan always holds the banner of friendship to Belize, on this day, the elephant in the room is mainland China. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Catherine Beamer emphasized that the geopolitical significance of cyber infrastructure and keeping China out of Belize's IT space.
We will not allow non-hemispheric competitors to control strategically vital assets, including Belize's cyber infrastructure and digital sovereignty. We are not interested in programs that look good on paper but don't accomplish anything. We're here for results. We want a Belize that can detect, prevent, and recover from cyber incidents, now and in the future. You will hear from the experts, Belizean officials who understand the threat landscape, Taiwan specialists with AI-enhanced security solutions, and U.S. private sector leaders and academics with proven capabilities. American policy should focus on enlisting regional champions that can help create tolerable stability in the region. Belize is that champion. You are taking responsibility for your own cybersecurity, and we're proud to stand with you as you build resilient cyber defenses.
The conference will continue tomorrow. Delisa Roberts, 7 News.
Speaking of the misuse of AI, several online images have also become an issue when it comes to the Buzz Lounge shooting. An AI image was created by an online media blog stating that it was the 16-year-old accused shooter when it was not. Well, today the CEO of the Ministry of E-Governance, Jose Urbina, discussed proposed legislation to address these types of posts.
I think that as a government of Belize, we need to ensure that we have a proper AI use policy. We have started working on that policy through the drafting of an AI strategy. In the AI strategy, we also highlight the ethical use of AI and also to inform the general public that while AI is a powerful tool, we can't use it for mischief. And we need to ensure that we are also both ethically and responsible in the use of AI. Of course, when we look at the different discussions we've had within the public sector or public services, that we do realize that AI is a national security concern, because at the end of the day, we're sharing data with international entities that we don't know what they do with that data. And so for us, it is important to advise the general public and also to advise those, as you refer to them, fake media outlets, to also ensure that they're responsible and ethical about the use of AI. I must highlight also that the Cybersecurity, the Cybercrime Act also is a legislation that can be enforced if further investigation is needed for these fake profiles to be brought to justice.
And for some time now, you have been hearing the Public Service Union speak of its issues with the biometric identification system installed in the public service, outsourced to a company named Neo Peoples. Today, the CEO addressed some of those concerns.
To begin, as in reference to the time management aspect that the Ministry of Public Service is implementing within the government of Belize, I think it is a technology that has been widely used in the private sector here in Belize. So it's nothing new for employers to implement a biometric time management system. Rightfully stated, the concern of how do we protect that data, reason why we're now having these conferences, and we will have more in the future, to build capacity and educate the general public as it relates to cybersecurity and protection of data. I think that the partnership that the Ministry of Public Service has worked out aligns with the necessary cybersecurity and data protection considerations that are needed to protect the employees' information. Again, it's nothing new. For the public service, time management is something new, and I think it's something that is very much needed within the public sector.
A point of concern for the union that these services were outsourced when government has its own Central Information Technology Office, what can administer that same kind of system. But according to the CEO, it is cheaper to get a cloud solution.
Is it that you have to go out of the public service for this when you actually have CETA? And I believe the Public Service Union has said that they can handle that.
Well, one thing is the perspective of the Public Service Union. Of course, CETA is a very credible institution within the government of Belize. They are the only ISO certified data center in the region, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. However, there are limitations within the infrastructural capacity of CETA. Now, I'm not saying that they are unable to host the existing system, but definitely those are discussions that need to be had. We also need to consider that while CETA may be in a position to host hardware for this system, it also comes with a capital investment that may be required for those servers and infrastructure that may be needed. When we look at different solutions nowadays, be it a hybrid solution. Sometimes, I'm not saying that in this case, sometimes hybrid or cloud solutions are cheaper and easier to maintain. And of course, those comes with built-in cybersecurity considerations already.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, finding the magic in the metal will show you the art of Belizean pan making. Don't go away.
The UDP, they know a heavy mess, says Patrick Faber. And we say the mess is only getting worse. The elephant in the room, he said, greed or selfishness. We say yes! Because the UDP leader is always driven by self-interest and never by what's best for the country and the people. Shine Barrow said Tracy, no they cut it as the leader and have no plan for govern if she ever become prime minister.
For the sake of to be prime minister, for us to be in a cabinet for the sake of being in a cabinet.
Even Alberto Agas posted Tracy Panton conspired, connived, and contrived to lead the UDP. Panton was eventually endorsed as the party leader, and the party has since been steadily going downhill. Patrick, Shine, and Alberto are all UDP, and they're all correct about Tracy. Bang, bigging them both. All the Queen's horses and all the Queen's men can never put Humpty together again.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures, customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights, distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
What happens when one person decides to make a change? In communities across Belize, we're seeing the answer.
Hi, I'm Kayla Linares. I love being outside and surrounded by nature. When I heard about the national cleanup, I signed up right away. I don't litter, and I help clean up Belize, one piece of trash at a time.
It starts with one choice, one moment, one step towards something better. Across our beautiful country, everyday heroes are making a difference. In just one day, nearly 2,000 volunteers collected over 40,000 pounds of garbage. From local groups to national partners, Belizeans are uniting to protect what we love. Every cleanup, every piece of properly disposed waste, every conversation, it all creates a ripple effect. But we can't just continue to clean up after everybody's mess. Let's prevent it and be proactive, not reactive. Because remember, our beliefs, our responsibility, didn't it?
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Last night, Mesopotamia area rep Lee Mark Chang sustained no serious injury in a major collision with another vehicle. Reports indicate that Chang was driving on Map Street, not far from his restaurant, when another vehicle T-boned him. His vehicle flipped on its side, but neither he nor his passengers sustained major injuries. Chang posted that he only has minor aches and bruises and that all is well. The driver of the other vehicle was also unharmed. Belize's love for steel pan music is widely celebrated with bands dating back to the 1960s, like Sir Colville Young's All-Star Steel Band. And while many have dedicated their lives and hearts to playing the pan, our musicians have just begun to learn how to make their own instruments. The Panerific Steel Band is leading the way in a steel pan fabrication program. Today, Jo-Marie Lanza visited the group in Belmopan to learn how they've been finding the magic in the metal. Here's that story.
Learning to play a steel pan is one thing, but there is a deeper connection that comes with learning how to manufacture the instrument as well. It's an art that requires precision, patience, and grit to bring it to life. Spending hours hammering away at what once was an old metal drum, looking for the magical steel pan that lies within it. The Panerific Steel Band and its members have bravely taken up this task of learning how to manufacture steel pans in Belize. Their director explained that as their membership grows, they are in need of more instruments, and the best way to procure them is by making the pans from scratch.
Seeing that there is the need, the band is expanding, it's growing, we always have a new intake of members every year, we realized that we needed more instruments, and they're very costly to buy them, from Trinidad, where they're originally sourced. And so we decided to let's explore making the pans here. And so in collaboration with Niche, through their partnership and sponsorship, we were able to get this project off the ground formally. And so this year we started with the first phase of the program. There were 2 weeks just after the Easter break where 4 of our members started to learn the fundamentals in making steel pans. First sourcing the drums, and then from there going through all the initial stages in sinking the drum and marking them, all the different steps that it requires to get the drum to where they are when you see them being performed on. So that's how the program started. We will continue with a second phase in August. Mr. Henry will be returning for the second phase where he will go more in depth, getting into some pre-tuning of the drums. And then further along, probably sometime in next year, a couple of our members will be going to Antigua to work with Mr. Henry in his pan lab to get first-hand experience and to develop finer skills in making and tuning steel pans.
For the past few weeks, Director Burrows, along with 4 band members under the guidance of Vernon Henry from Pan Zone in Antigua and Barbuda, have immersed themselves into a steel pan making course.
Over the years, we find that we have members who have taken ownership of the program, of the band, and of the instruments that they play. They've developed that interest in wanting to know how to make the pans because they want their own pans, right? And so it's very tedious. The work is laborious. It's not for the weak. I've seen them blister their hands, hammer their fingers, so it's very tedious and time consuming. It is not something that you learn overnight or in a week or 2 weeks or even in a month. It takes years for somebody to master the skills in making and tuning steel pans. So this is a work in progress, a true work in progress.
And while the process is ongoing and they are expected to commence another cohort in the months to come, learning to make the pans has increased their familiarity with the instrument, learning how to understand and find the perfect sound within the pan.
I found an interest in it because steel pan isn't like any other instrument whereby you can make in a factory. no matter what you do, you have to do at least some part of it by hand. It wasn't easy, but I would say that I enjoyed the process because it entailed, a bunch of hammering, a lot of hammering. At some point, I felt like my arms were gonna fall off. But it is really interesting, and I enjoyed every step of the process, from the sinking to the smoothing to the just the whole thing. If you hammer too hard, it could ruin the whole pan, and if you hammer too soft, it's gonna prolong the process. So I would say, and each individual pan, different pan, go from the bass, the cello, double seconds, guitar, tenor, double tenor. Each of them has a different process. Although all of them are made out of the same drum, same oil drum, each of them has a different process.
Being able to play the pan also goes into a lot of the process of making one. You can understand why the notes need to be a certain way when you're making it, and then that translates over to when you're actually playing the pan. You can see the same process from playing to making, having some sort of correlation.
Would you say that like a person has to have an ear to also know how to play and to make us?
I would have to say that because once you get to a certain part of the tuning, you do have to be able to understand what you're looking for, not just in the tuning, but as well as in the pan making. While you're shaping the actual pan and going further into the drum, you have to be able to know, okay, am I gonna rupture the pan? Is it safe? Is it still dense? Is it evened out? So both of them do correlate with each other.
If you learn how to play the pan, you know the basics about playing the pan. Like, you need to be careful with some aspects of the pan, but when it comes to pan making the pan, you can play and learn how. If you can learn how to make it and play it, you can maintain your steel pan forever. Like, you can make a new one if you want. You could build one for others, and it's really important. If it would be nice if you could learn how to do both of them, because again, it's really hard to maintain a steel pan if you don't know what you're doing.
If the ratio of pan players to pan makers were even, we would see a new industry begin to emerge, one that would potentially save bands thousands of dollars in procuring steel pans.
This program is beneficial not only immediately to our band, but to Belize on a whole. Everybody who plays steel pan or any other band can in the future rely on these gentlemen who are doing the training to either tune their pans for them or build pans and grow the program among other schools in the country. So it's a very important development for us. If we can source them here, that would make it so much more cost effective and accessible, and that is what we need.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
As we told you last night, the 14-inch sewer main, which carries the city's untreated sewage, sits directly in the path of construction for the New Balkan Bridge. And the engineers who planned the bridge replacement project totally missed that in their design. 7 News has seen correspondence which shows that from early March, BWS gave the MIDH and the Ministry of Finance warnings about the pipes. And the warnings also include the 1979 drawings of the route for the main. We note that the pipes have also been there unchanged since 1979. The utility is proposing a $2 million relocation project and wants the government to split the cost 50-50. But the situation at the Swing Bridge is even tighter. BWS says a planned temporary crossing near Hydes Lane sits directly on top of sewage and water mains. They say moving those lines is mandatory before any bridge work begins, which is why the MIDH has purchased the entire Sandcast bottom dollar property for $5 million. The Financial Intelligence Unit has issued a public advisory warning Belizeans about fraudulent emails being circulated by individuals impersonating staff from the agency. The FIU says the scam messages are designed to appear legitimate, using staff names, titles, logos, signatures, and even email addresses that may seem to originate from the unit. According to the advisory, some of the emails reference loan approvals, financial assistance, payments, and requests for banking information, despite the FIU making clear that it does not grant loans, process financial transactions, or request sensitive personal details through unsolicited emails. The public is being urged not to respond, click any links, or share any personal or financial information, and to report suspicious emails directly to the FIU or contacting their bank and authorities if they may have already been affected. It may have been built 1,500 years ago, but one of Belize's most famous Maya sites is now benefiting for a 21st century modernization. BEL has partnered with Niche to commission a new solar power system at the San Antonio Archaeological Reserve. The system is capable of generating up to 1,500 milliwatt hours of clean energy per month, in addition to a 21 kilowatt hour battery storage system. This enables a reliable power supply during nighttime hours and rainy spells. A press release says it will result in enhanced on-site services for visitors, among other things. That's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night. Join me back here tomorrow at 6.